Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to week 12 of Commissioner Pick, and we are starting it off with a wonderful little cameo. You got to get in closer. There you go. Say hey. All right. Nice job. Get out of here. All right, let's get into it. We are going to move right into our picks for the week, starting off with Peter Straight Cash Homie versus Mike's Mihow team. And it does not look like we are going to need to spend a whole lot of time talking about this one, even if Mike does get in a wide receiver and a tight end here. I think it's going to be a pretty easy win for Peter, so we won't spend too much time here. We'll move him on the board. That's going to move him to 10-2. Nice start. Nice job. Nice season, Peter. All right, next up we're going to talk about Lindendt's team versus Paul's Wunderwolff team. 0-11 for Lindentt. Not saying that he can't get a win here, but right now it doesn't look like it. Paul's team sitting at 4-7. We've got 99, almost 100 points projected for Paul, and that is the high between the two. Again, probably not a whole lot we need to talk about here, but let's take a look. Caleb Williams at Pittsburgh. Judkins getting a little bit more love as the season goes on, playing against the Las Vegas Raiders. That ought to be pretty good. Bashal Tutin, fine against Arizona. Arizona's been kind of cruddy, but picking up speed as the season goes on. Amon Ra looking great there, as is just Detroit in general. So I like it. I don't even know who this guy is from Cleveland, so we're not going to worry about him. I think the Tampa Bay game in general is going to be great for fantasy, so that ought to be good. And then not really worry too much about the rest of this. So going to give this win to Paul. Nice job, Paul, moving you to 5-7. All right, moving right along. Getting into our third matchup, we are looking at Yianni's Sons of the Harpy at 5-6 versus Vince's Nice Guys also at 5-6. Had an early start on Thursday with Josh Allen and the Bills getting a win, but for fantasy purposes, a rather pedestrian showing. Let's get into it. It's a tight matchup this week between these two. So let's take a look. Matt Stafford, I feel like deja vu. I feel like this game has already happened. Matthew Stafford and the Rams versus Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's going to be a big game. Going to be good weather. I think we're going to see like 40-40. It's going to be like a 70-point, 80-point game between the two of them. I don't know what the books are showing here, but I think Tampa Bay is going to lose. I think the Rams are going to win. I think it's going to be a great game to watch, so this is a fun one. Matthew Stafford throwing up 21 points projected. That's great. On the other side, you got Sam Darnold, who has been playing well. A little flaky here and there the last few weeks, but otherwise still playing well. Kirk Cousins for the Falcons, motherfuckers, playing against the Saints at the Saints home site. So I am nervous if I'm playing Kirk Cousins. Drake London's not going to be out there today, I don't believe. So I'm not sure this is going to be a great matchup. So far, we're giving the quarterback win to Vince's Nice Guys. We get into Breece Hall at Baltimore versus Aaron Jones. I do think Breece Hall is going to see some more volume there, and looks like Flea Flicker agrees with me. Rashad White, again, anything Tampa Bay or the Rams, I want it. But Montgomery playing against the Giants, that ought to be good. I'm expecting him to get a touchdown there. So close matchup, I would say probably leaning towards Yianni here with the running backs just a little bit, since we're looking at some volatility here on the Montgomery and Aaron Jones side. Rashid Shaheed versus DJ Moore. I think it's a pretty even matchup. I do think that Shaheed will have the higher game output here. Puka Nacua versus Michael Pittman. Same thing. I think Nacua is going to have a monster game, and so does Flea Flicker. Darius Slayton, Juwan Jennings. I think those are decent flex. You're just kind of hoping for like 50 yards and a touchdown. But Juwan Jennings actually has been getting pretty decent volume, so could be a good play here. A.J. Brown with almost 16 points, and I don't feel good about it against Dallas, whose defense obviously hasn't been great. But A.J. Brown has been having a problematic year, as has the Eagles. So I would love to see him put up those 16 points. I don't think he's going to put up those 16 points, but who knows? If we take a look, I think we'll see some big games and then some very small games. So Maybe we're looking at a 27-point game like he had against the Vikings. Um, maybe we're looking at more like that Detroit game, which I think is what we're going to see. Hawkinson has not been producing much this year, as far as I remember. You'd like to see more. It's not been bad. 8s and 9s are fine, but 3s and 5s will kill you. 12s and 11s are great, obviously. So, yeah, a little bit of a down year for him. And then Brock Bowers, golly. Some really, one just stupid good game. 46 points against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but then you have 4.4 to follow it up. Otherwise, though, 16 points, 10 points, 10 points, 10 points, 16 points. Gotta love it. So you're happy putting him out there. I am gonna give the win to Yianni, moving him to 6-6. Nice job. Good win. Sorry about that, Vince. All right, next up we got Nick's Whacko for Flacco versus Erik's TurdFergson. We got 128 for Nick. I got 112 for Erik. Let's look at it. So, J.J. McCarthy at Green Bay. I think that's going to be a rough game for him. Jared Goff at the Giants. That's going to be a great game for Jared Goff unless we get one of those fluky Jared Goff bad games. Flacco. Is Flacco starting? I thought Jamar Chase was supposed to have Joe Burrow. Maybe not. It seems a little reckless. Anyway, would love to see Flacco play, but I thought Joe Burrow was out there. That's not good for my projections right here. Anyway, Shedeur Sanders on the other side, getting his second start. We'll see what he does against the Las Vegas Raiders. It's a good team for him to play against. Alvin Kamara versus Atlanta. Kamara's not been scary this year, but you know what? The Falcons have not been scary lately either. I'm hoping that Kamara just runs all over us and puts the nail in the proverbial coffin. On the other side, speaking of putting the nail in the coffin, Saquon Barkley. I would love to see it against Dallas. Ought to be a great game. You never know what you're getting with the Eagles right now. Jahmyr Gibbs versus the Giants. Gotta love it. That's going to be a big one there. Wan'Dale Robinson versus Detroit. Should be good. We'll see what happens. Detroit's been looking really solid, though. Xavier Worthy against Indianapolis. 30 yards, 40 yards, 50 yards, maybe, and a touchdown. What's he been doing lately? Let's just take a peek real quick. Yeah, that's what you're shooting for. You're looking for like 30 to 50 yards and a touchdown, like he did against Detroit. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but hey, that kind of game is fluke. So maybe Zay Flowers versus the Jets. I think that's right about where you want to be. 12.5 points. That's good. I love Ty Johnson. Yeah, Tez Johnson. Excuse me. Kid's young, man. He's going to do really well if he can keep carving out a spot for him. He did not do well against Buffalo, but I think he's got it. And I do like any piece in that game, so that's a good piece to have. Khalil Shakir went off on Thursday. Adam Thielen, keep doing it, man. Keep doing it. Just keep doing it. I think it is going to be a tight matchup here, but I did give the win to Mr. Nick, moving him to 9-3. Nice job, Nick. Sorry, Erik. All right, next up we got Brandon's Jonesing for Wins versus JP's all-rookie team. Brandon 4-7, all the way out there in Ukraine. Might not be moving to 5-7 though, if he does not get Dillon Gabriel out of that QB flex position. JP otherwise sitting at 2-9 though. I'm not sure he's too worried about wins. We've got Spencer Rattler, who hasn't played in a couple weeks, but he's there. He's a quarterback. He's starting. So we'll see what happens. There's not much that he could do anyway to slot someone else in. So you're saved from the call out there, JP, but it doesn't look good for you, buddy. I'm not sure we need to spend a whole lot of time on this matchup, even with Dillon Gabriel in the flex position. I think Brandon's going to take this one. Daniel Jones at Kansas City. We ought to see some volume. James Cook at Houston put up some big numbers. Love to see it unless you're playing against them. Ashton Jeanty, what happened to him last weekend? Look at this. What are we doing? 7 yards, 6 attempts. Did he get in the doghouse for something? What happened? I don't know. But I don't expect that'll happen this time. I think he's going to have a good game against Cleveland. You got Charbonnet, that's looking good. Woody Marks has been kind of a bust. But we'll see what happens. Jared Jeudy against the Raiders, I like it, but it's all going to depend on Shedeur. I like Tony Trimble back in the day. Not been doing much for us, but don't think it's going to matter for you this weekend, Brandon. I think you're going to get the win here, moving you to 5-7. Nice job. All right, next up we've got Mike's Rico Suave versus Chris's injured booty Ligma Harball Andy Reid. Let's take a look at what Flea Flicker says. We got Rico sitting at 150. We got Chris sitting at 130. Jordan Love versus Minnesota. Jalen Hurts versus Dallas. Dak Prescott versus Philly. What? No! You don't want to do it. Bam Knight against the Jaguars. You don't have anyone else? Christopher. Chris. Christoph. Ah, my boy. What are you doing? What are you doing? I've made a grave mistake. I think I messed this up. Let's take a look. Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott, two huge quarterbacks here. Jordan Love, I think he'll have a good game against Minnesota. Bam Knight. I don't think Bam Knight's going to do much, but 10 points against the Jaguars, okay. I I do like the guy. Just, you don't want him in your super flex. Rico Dowdle, looking great. Trey Henderson, is that his first name? Travion Henderson. We're not on a first nickname basis like that. He's been looking good, but Ramondre's back this weekend, I believe, so he might be splitting the volume. But on the other side, you got Christian McCaffrey and Tyrone Tracy. Tyrone had a good game last weekend, if I remember correctly. So let's take a look and see if he gets some more of that. Against Detroit, could be a tough matchup for him. Yeah, going to be a tough one. So 11 points, we're a little low on him, but still could happen. I think it might. George Pickens had a huge game last week, and against Philadelphia, I think he's going to want to do that again. So that's a big one. Roma Dunze against Pittsburgh. I like Roma Dunze. I think we all like Roma Dunze. I'm expecting a little bit more of a game here than what we're projecting, so let's see what happens. Christian Watson is now back for, I think, 3 weeks. Really liked what he did last weekend. I think he'll do it again this weekend against Minnesota. And we got the stack there, which you gotta love. So that's great. Nico Collins did Nico Collins 2025 things and underperformed. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, folks. I'm gonna say Chris is gonna take the win, even with Bam Knight. Golly, Chris, this is rough, bro. You're making it hard on me. I'm giving it to Chris. I'm moving him to 9-3. I think he finds a way. Sorry, Mike. No respect. All right, moving on. Penultimate matchup here. We got Ian's starting Bijan is the Pits versus KD's Tyreek's cardiac arrest. This one's going to be an easy one if you ask me. Trevor Lawrence versus Geno Smith. Geno Smith has been looking pretty shaky lately, but KD does have Derrick Henry against the Jets. That ought to be a big game. Jalen Warren's been looking good against Chicago. Should be fine. Bijan against New Orleans. A lot of volume there. I mean, there's no Drake London, so got to imagine you're just putting all the volume on Bijan unless, I don't know, they got the stupidest coaches in the league, so who knows what they're going to do. Etienne has been looking really good, honestly. I don't know if he's going to be there after next year, but looking good right now, which is all that matters for today's game. These two guys have been looking equally as unenthusiastic, unexciting, so I'm not going to worry about it. Jason has been looking fantastic. Stephon Diggs has had a nice little resurgence. And now we're getting into the flex position, and I think this is an interesting one. I think Dobbs has a good game. I think it's going to be better than Chuba Hubbard, who's splitting it with Rico. I think Tucker had a good game last weekend, and I would look for him to do it again against Cleveland. Kenneth Gainwell, though, also had a good game, but of course he was working with Jalen Warren out, so I'm not sure if he's going to have a huge game here. Kyle Pitts, I would expect more volume here. Again, no Drake London, even though Kyle Pitts doesn't block and has friggin' salami for hands and fingers and can't catch half the time. I still think he's going to get into the end zone. Probably put up about 14 or 15 for you there, Ian, so I like it this week. Here's the correct New Orleans Saints quarterback to be playing as opposed to what you saw with JP's team. Shock has been looking pretty good, and if Atlanta's defense continues to look like as poop as they have the past few games, I would imagine this is a good game for him. Having said all that, I'm still going to give the win to Mr. Ian, moving him to 7-5. And last but not least, it's yours truly versus Teddy and the Hydra boys. Flea Flicker's got it at 141 for Hydra, 152 for yours truly. Um, Drake May against Cincinnati, that's going to be a brutal game to play against. Cincinnati's defense is deplorable, and Drake May is looking awesome, so I expect this is going to be a big game for him. Jacoby Brissett versus Jacksonville. I don't know if Jacoby does it against Jacksonville. Defense is not their strong suit, but Jacoby has looked a little shaken the past few games, so I don't know. I just had a feeling here. Maybe it's because I'm playing against them, but I am giving the QB advantage to yours truly, Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. Gotta love that. Javonte Williams playing against Philadelphia. I'm hoping that it's a big game. I just got a feeling he's not going to perform well today, though. I feel like Dallas is going to do Dallas things today, and we're going to get Stephen A. tomorrow just roasting him. So let's see. Well, None Guy's looked pretty good. He's had some decent games. I feel like he's had some decent games. Maybe I'm misremembering. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, just a monster game. Yeah, 11.5's fine, 9.6 fine, but 27 and 18, that's what you're looking for. So let's see what he does against Pittsburgh. Tough defense to run against. You got Chase Brown, who, if Flacco's in, I'm feeling better about it because Chase Brown with Flacco has looked great. CeeDee Lamb, even though he kind of screwed me on that drop ball at the end of the last game, should be a good game for him. Again, I think Dallas might do Dallas things today, so I'm not sure we get a full 15 out of CD, but let's see. Justin Jefferson's been struggling a little bit, and against Green Bay, I would expect the struggle to continue. Devontae Smith, though, has been looking great. Chris Olave is still getting tons of volume, and I'm hoping, again, that Atlanta's defense continues to be bad, really bad, even though they were really good. Stupid team. Devontae Adams has been playing pretty well. I mean, really well, actually. And then, of course, you got Jamal Williams on the other side against the Giants. So I think both of these are going to be fun to watch. Ever since, what's the name of their head coach, started making play calls, Jamal Williams, or Jameson Williams, excuse me, has really picked up. I mean, 18, 21, 15. You got to love it. After the bye week, that's when they made the change. So big time change in volume there. George Kittle against Carolina, that's going to be brutal. Not going to lie. Tedero McMillan, I'm hoping. Fingers crossed, buddy. Do it again, just like you did. You got the chance against the 49ers to do it. Let's see it. Pat Fryermuth, I feel like I had a better option here, truthfully. No. Noah Gray is my other option. There's no chance I'm putting him in. Yeah, so Pat Fryermuth, I like him. But I'm not sure I like him more than Goddard against Dallas. So we'll take a look and see how that works out for me. It feels like Teddy's team's got to win this one, but I am not going to go against me. I'm giving it to me, saying that I go to 8-4 here. And so there it is, everybody. There are your commissioner picks for week 12. Let's just take a quick look at what the playoffs are looking like. As of this week, going into this week, you got Peter sitting at number 1. You got myself sitting at the 8 position. Brandon at 4. Whacko at 5. Teddy at 3. Chris at 6. Rico Suave at 2. And Erik's TurdFergson at 7. That's going to get shaken up if the commissioner picks are right, but we'll take a look and we'll get back and talk about it after this week. As always, I don't want to say go Falcons. I fucking hate the Falcons right now. I hope you guys have a lovely weekend. Toodles.